There we go. All right. So before I get going, I want to make sure that I hit all your questions. So, like, what's your questions right out of the gate before I get started?
It's really just like navigating. Like sometimes I guess the teacher tools, is that something new?
It's brand new. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure how to get to there. Like what logins do I
Sure.
need to use and
Okay.
yeah.
No worries. I'll show you straight through it. So the reason why we have two separate logins is for student security. There's a lot of states that are very particular about making sure that their students' data is not shared or used outside of the system. So we keep all the students' data inside of Canvas. Let me share my screen and I'll show you. This one will work. Yeah, this will work. Okay, so here's someone who hasn't logged in yet. You see this basic home page. The students are going to log in using this button right here. That logs you into the Canvas system. So that's where all of the educational sort of curriculum and that sort of thing are stored. The problem with Canvas is we use it a little bit differently than other people do. Most schools are just like a school district where we have hundreds of schools that are on board, and each one has its own sandbox. So it gets a little complicated with adding courses or changing courses or adding students or adding teachers because there's 10 courses, hundreds of different schools, and Canvas's onboarding system isn't really great. So what we did is we built our own.
Okay.
But to access it as a teacher, you need to register on this site, not on the Canvas site, on this site here. So once you register on this site, um, you can, which you do just by clicking the login button, and then you can create a new login, and that registers for you for the site. I'm just going to sign in using an old one so that I can just do this quickly. Hopefully I remember what the password is,
That's always a struggle.
right? Motorcycles. I hate these things. What are you going to do? Oh, now I have to do buses. Love that. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Oh, come on. Oh, this is signing up. Sorry, my mistake. I need a login. There we go. Did someone just come into our?
It may have just been me getting an email, I think.
Oh, is that what it was? There we go. Logging in. I was trying to sign up a new person. Okay, so now that I'm logged in, it shows me who my name is. And if you just come right here, you click this, and now you have teacher tools. These are some other tools that we're currently working on that we're in development with. But what you want is the teacher tools. So you go ahead and click the teacher tools. And the teacher tools are going to show you, it's really classroom management, right? It's a way of managing all the stuff at Canvas, uh, but making it so it works for our platform, not just theirs. So when you add a student, for instance, it adds them to all 10 courses over on the Canvas site. Does that make sense? Um,
Yes.
so the problem is if I were to try and do this, like last year, we tried to do this and it was like people would have to send in, like, here's a list of all my students, first name, last name, password. And then I would have to generate, 10 times for each student logins to into Canvas, which just it took months to get everybody online. It was ridiculous. So um, so what I did this year is let's make some tools wherein teachers can go and just very easily add a student. It adds them to all of their 10 courses. You just simply click the button, you fill out the information, say submit, and the student receives a lot of districts don't allow for outside emails to come through. So we made it so when you add a student, their temporary password is automatically set to change me with a capital C and a capital M. So if they just go, they can go immediately into the site now and just say, John Doe, john@doe.com, and password change me, and they're in. And then they're going to see all their classes, right? So it's super slick. And you can also organize your classrooms into separate classrooms. So if you have a first period, second period kind of situation, you can create a new classroom, and then that classroom will show up here in your classroom view. And then you can filter by classroom. So you can filter your students. So you can see just that classroom or whatever you want to kind of do. We're working on some additional tools. If you check the box, you'll notice that you can add them to a classroom. You can remove them from a classroom. You can change their passwords, and you can delete the student. So, and this works over multiple students. So if you wanted to select multiples and change all their passwords or add them all to a certain classroom, you can do that as well. If you want to
Okay.
search for a certain student, you can say, you just type and it will automatically start searching as you type. So you can see it found Chet there. And that's really the teacher tools. I mean, there's not much more to it than that. You can add a teacher as well, which adds another teacher in addition to yourself. What we'll probably end up doing is being able to add that a certain teacher to a certain classroom. So then they just see their classrooms kind of thing, but that's not there yet. So that's really the basis of the teacher tools. Now, when I go into, I will show you what this looks like on the Canvas side. Let me get to this school. This is the demo school. Sub accounts. 2 seconds. There's a lot of schools to scroll through here. Trying to find our test district. Test school. Tracy, and I'm going to log in as a certain user, just so you can see what it will literally look like as you. Perfect. Okay. Well, let me choose this. I'm not happy with that. Hang on 2 seconds.
Okay.
One. There we go. Stop activation. So here we go. Let me log in as me. Oh, okay. Let me do that. Actually, that'll be good for you to see. All right, let me stop sharing this. I'm going to start sharing my other window. So now when you go to, when the students go to that login button, this is what they're going to see. They're going to see this login page for Canvas. Once they go to that green button on Canvas. And again, they can log in. When you create them, they're going to have that demo password of change me. So now when you create them, they'll be able to instantly go to that button. It takes them to this page, and then they're going to log into Canvas. Now the Canvas UI is a little bit different. These are the courses that you have access to. There's 10 of them, and Canvas's navigation is pretty much all on this left-hand side. There's some really cool tools with Canvas that I'll cover. Do you guys use Canvas?
No, so that was part of I've been basically just using Canvas this whole time until you told me about Teacher Tool the other day. So trying to
Okay.
get used to Canvas and just navigate, your website as well. It's a lot.
Totally. Yeah. You can see why we have two separate things. All the students are in Canvas, but you have to have a way to manage your classrooms. And so Canvas doesn't allow for those tools, so we built our own, right? We also included a couple of fun little things in our own.
I'm in a
So,
meeting. Sorry.
and we'll be tying these to the Canvas students as well, but we've implemented this new fame counter. And so students will actually earn and spend fame as like a currency.
Mhm.
Earn it by like leaving reviews on other students' films, completing assignments, that kind of stuff. So we're going to be adding a little bit of that this year. But this is what you really need to know. This Canvas uh, UI. So there's
Okay.
a couple of really cool, powerful tools. This dashboard screen, and you're going to see a couple of extra buttons on mine because I'm the admin, but don't worry.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask. Just like I don't see the admin, but that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm the admin over all the schools. You can now this is your sandbox. You can change lessons, you can add rubrics, you could do whatever you want. You don't like a certain picture, you can remove it, add your own. You can add links to YouTube videos that you want to have. This is literally your place to play. So for instance, in the backlot tutorial, you just click on the course. And now here's the course, right? So it has a syllabus. It has different modules. You can look at all the different modules. And here's the syllabus. So here's the syllabus for that course. And then you have, of course, the next thing, and it will march you down through everything. Um, next, just like that. And the students just kind of go through each assignment and working their way through all the modules until they get to the end. And there's a test at the end of each course. Now you can edit any one of these. If you go down to, if you up here, the teacher will see an edit button and you can edit any one of these courses, change it, add it, all that kind of stuff. It's pretty slick. Um, we've added a couple of our tools over on this left-hand side as well. So over here you can do your grading. Here's all the people you're in your course. For this particular one, it's just me and a demo teacher. But you'll see all the teachers there. You can assign your different roles to different people. So he's setting now as a TA, but you can set it as a teacher or a designer. You can also add parents and attach them to students so that the parents can kind of watch the progress that their student is having. So you can do all that kind of stuff. One of the things that I like to do and encourage teachers to do is you can also set up groups. So you can set groups of students. You can create these, or you can have your students create them. So if a student creates a group, they can invite other students to their group, and it takes a lot of pressure off of you having to like, okay, break up into groups. No, the students go create the groups, invite who you want, and they create groups, and you can grade by groups as well, which is really cool. Discussions here is like a old style message board so that if you're not around, they can post a message and maybe another student can see that message and knows the answer and can reply, all that kind of stuff. So these are just basic message boards for each course. So you have 10 courses, there's a message group for each one. The big blue button is, and I'm pretty sure these are all seen on yours. I
Yeah.
should I should log in with my yeah, okay. I have another login that I'm looking at over here. Okay, so you'll see the big blue button. Now, what the big blue button, I don't know why they call it this. It's a stupid name, but it is a kind of like Zoom, but built into the system. So you can schedule these and it'll schedule right into your calendar. It will give prompts to students, all that kind of stuff. And you can give just certain courses um, um, access to it, but that's really all it is. So you can add a conference. You say the conference type is a big blue button. We're going to invite these certain students, only these certain students from certain classes, only certain students from certain courses, or whatever you want to do. It's going to last X number of minutes. You can add it to the calendar. So in the calendar, it shows up under, what's the date today? The 9th. Let's, I guess we could do it for the 10th. And the end date is the 10th as well at 12. Start time at 1:30. You can write a description for that, and then you create that, and it will put it into, let's see, start date is, yeah, that is before it, isn't it? Oh, there we go. So we're going to create one just so you can see what it looks like. So now here's this conference, but one of the cooler things about Canvas that this is one of the most powerful tools that they have, in my opinion, is the calendar. And now in the calendar, you can see that that conference was just added. And it will also be added to all the students. They can see it in this little section. If you come to dashboard, you'll see it right here. So they can see at a glance at any time, like all the things in their calendar, everything that's coming due, everything that's coming up. And it gives you a direct link. So you just click on it and now you're into your, oh, it doesn't, there you go. So and you can edit these, add more descriptions, all that kind of stuff. Really powerful tool, this calendar. You can add different events, whatever you want, whatever kind of assignment or a to-do or any of that kind of stuff can all be added to their calendars. Okay, back to our class so you can see the navigation. So you'll see people, you'll see discussions, big blue button. You can have a chat room so people can just chat if they need to ask questions, or if you're doing things remotely, you can just type messages in here. And then anybody can fire back. Let's see. You can actually take attendance. I don't know that many people use the attendance button. The 3D backlot. Now this is something we added last year, but this is more of a fun way to get access to a lot of the same stuff. So I'm gonna go over this real quick, but we'll open it in the window. When you log into this,
This is like the game, right?
yeah.
Okay.
So when you log in, you can do that with, if you're a student in the Canvas, don't create a new thing. Just click this login with Canvas button, and it'll automatically send you in. It'll look at who you are and go, oh, you're a Canvas student, and sends you in.
Okay.
And this is the game. So it's a little crazy. I know it's a little kind of a strange way for educators and people. It is for professional people as well to sort of see what's going on here. But basically, this is a fun way to access a lot of the same content that's on the lot. So there are points that you earn and things like that. There's conversations on the lot that you can have with people, but you can upload your movie here. You can access over in this direction. We have what we call the campus. So you can access a lot of the same content that's on the lot or in the courses here on the lot. So if you want to access, for instance, the sound effects library. So here's the sound effects. And you can click these, download them, and drop them in your movie. There's like 100,000 sound effects. And you come over to this building, and it's the stock footage library, right? So you can download any of these pieces of stock footage. We've bought the licenses already for you. You download them, you drop them in your movie, away you go. I think there's only about 4,000 pieces of stock footage. Over here, you have the screenplay library. So you can come in here, you can download screenplays, and you just download the script, and now here's Back to the Future, and you're reading Back to the Future. But yeah, there's music, let's see, there's 35,000 royalty-free songs, tracks. So you come over here to the music department where you can kind of see how the music recording studio room works. And you click on the mainframe here, and now here's all your music. And you can download any of this music. Just click a song, download the song, and you can listen to it too, but I don't think it comes. Does that come through Zoom? Can you hear it?
No.
You can't hear it. That's crazy that it can filter it out that well. Okay, so you just download it and drop it in your show. Then you have also over here, you have what we call the production office, but it's really kind of like, if you're a gamer, it's like a guild. So you can invite people to your guild, and your school is kind of your guild. And so if you come into the production office, then only members of your school are seen here. right? So this is like the guild. And you can talk to any one of these people and they will tell you about what they do and how they do it. And it's pretty fun, actually. It's kind of silly, but it's actually pretty dang cool as well. We're going to be connecting this to AI this year so that all the conversations are fresh and new and different and grow over time, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, that's really cool. So are like if all of my students in the classroom got onto the back lot right now,
Hmm.
would they see like, their classmates in
Hmm.
this?
They sure would.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, and this is kind of just a fun thing right now, but we're going to be turning it very shortly. For instance, if you come over here, so Leo right here, he's actually a real guy. Um, he's AI right now, but Leo runs a company called Decentralized Pictures. So if you click on him, he says, "How goes it?" Yeah, to be honest, I don't know what I'm doing. Haha, yeah. About sums up what it's like being in the entertainment industry. I hear you. What was that? So you just kind of click through these and he tells you about what he does. My company, Decentralized Pictures, has a deal with the studio for office space. What is Decentralized Pictures? And he tells you what it is. Now, Decentralized Pictures is a group that we've sort of partnered with, and we're partnering with more people like this, wherein these guys offer competitions. And if you win, you get finishing funds to finish your movie. Like,
Okay.
like it's a legitimate cash, out kind of thing that helps you finish your movie. So it's pretty interesting. There's a lot of really cool things to do on the back lot. Anyway, so let's get out of here. This is crazy. We'll leave here and get back to our courses. So now let's see, we'll go back to our dashboard. Let's go down to our next element, which is the stock footage. So this is another way to reach all that same content. Here's your stock footage. Boom, and it's right here. Here's your music library. And these tools are in all of the courses. So it doesn't matter what course you're in, you can access these tools. Here's your
Okay.
sound effects. Here's your interviews. Now we have professional interviews with various people, just friends of ours. After we finish working with them, we just sit them in a chair and say, drill them for an hour with questions. So we have, and some of these people are the very best in what they do. Anna Marie Quintana is probably the best script supervisor in the world. She does all of Ridley Scott's movies and a lot of Ron Howard's movies. Um, let's see, Janusz Kaminski, obviously, shot. At 24, he won an Oscar for Schindler's List and for Private Ryan and that sort of thing. And you can come in here and peruse all of these interviews and just kind of click through them if you want to just sit and watch
Take
them all.
pictures, start taking pictures and
Oh, that's right. You can't hear this, can you?
Oh, actually, I just heard that one.
You could hear that one?
see
Oh, okay.
what moves them and see what moves their friends.
Yeah.
Um,
So there's probably, I don't know, 30 hours worth of interviews in here. But these guys are literally like Alex McDowell was the #1 production designer in the world. He did Fight Club and Cat in the Hat and that sort of stuff. Minority Report. There's a lot of really great content in there. Then we have our tutorials where we went and made a short film, and throughout the entire process, we had a documentary crew documenting us making it. And then they cut that into these different segments, and there's probably another 30 hours or again of content just in all of these tutorials. Here's the scripts library that you saw before. You can see all these different scripts that you can download. Um, and then our theater, where you can come in here and watch all the movies. That just takes you to another link. And then let's see, Outcomes Theater. Outcomes is a new thing that I'm not fully aware of yet. This is brand new to Canvas, so I haven't played with it at all yet. But that's basically the navigation. Now, if I go back here, I can go through we kind of mapped these courses out to go in order, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kind of way, right?
Okay.
Now, some of them are very short. The backlot course, you can probably go through honestly in an hour. The introductory film, probably in one class period, like maybe two. The film critic course is kind of a course where students weren't leaving the greatest reviews, mostly because they didn't know how. They would write, "This is awesome," or "This sucks," and
Yeah.
both are equally lame. Like both equally don't tell the user anything about what they can improve on or how they could have made it better. So we decided to put a quick little course together on how to instruct students on how to leave a review, right? And
That's great.
at the end of that, they have to leave a review somewhere on somebody's movie. And I'm working on the page right now where when they leave the review, it gives them fame. It'll award them fame. And the more fame they have, especially as a review, as a critic, the more weight their review will have. Like it means more, right?
Yeah.
So it'll be an interesting experiment this year to implement fame. On the fourth course, we try and get students. I'm sure you're aware of this, but the number one thing is that they want to do is they want to make something.
Hmm.
And so we want to facilitate that, but we also have to get them to like understand that development is an important process. Like writing a script is an important thing that you don't want to skip. Your film will never be better than the actual script. So if you start, the way we always say it is like when you make a movie, you start off with the script, and then in production, it's just compromise after compromise after compromise, and you hope that you pull it out before augering the whole thing into the ground, and then during post-production, you start to pull it back out and polish it off, and it becomes, a totally different version of what you set out to make, but it gets better as you start to polish it. Well, students don't realize that. They want to go out and film themselves getting hurt on a skateboard or doing some trick or doing some stupid thing. So we want to get them working quick, which is why those first three courses are so short. Let's get them involved. Let's get them making something. Most students don't know the different crew title names and jobs and responsibilities. So we just tell them, look, go make this as a group. Get together as a group, create a group, have your students create a group. They join the groups. And groups tend to work better between 3 to 5 people, depending on how many students you have. And go make something. Now, in this first class, it's pretty short. You can look at the modules. We skip across every major, aspect of filmmaking. So development, pre-production, production, and post-production. And then you have to upload your movie into the theater. And so we kind of go through this as a team. Like everybody kind of goes through all of the assignments as a group. I'm going to admit somebody else into our team. And so as they come in as a group, they kind of work through all of these different things. And eventually they produce something together. Now, we try and convince people like don't go for the moon here. Like try and shoot low. Like make something like 60-second PSA commercial. Make something very brief so that you can manage it, so you can finish it, right? The longer your project is, the longer it's going to take to make. And because teachers they all have a different schedule. They all have different students, different levels of students. So we kind of built our whole system as like a smorgasbord. Take what you want. If you don't like this course, skip it. If you don't want to teach documentary stuff, don't teach it. We just want to make it available to you. So you can see in the dashboard, you've got, backlot tutorial, which kind of teaches you how to use the system, introduction to film history, film critic, and then you get into the production stuff. So this one, you're going to make something. We suggest like a 60-second commercial. And inside of this, you'll see inside the modules, inside the assignments, like, okay, we're going to do a development overview. And I'm going to show you a PSA. So I did these PSAs for like 20 years for this company called Foundation for a Better Life. I'm sure you've seen the billboards. It's literally the most watched PSA in the world. They're always tagged at the end with like, pass it on. Friendship, pass it on. Kindness, pass it on. That kind of thing. And so I show you, here's a script. This is the script for the commercial, 60 seconds. I show you the storyboards for this script, right? And these the real storyboards. And then you can sit and watch the actual show. And this is how it turned out.
Daddy coming. Daddy misses us too, honey.
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
He called her on.
This one's a little bit longer. This one's super short. Okay, so this is a 30-second.
Oh,
Hey.
pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Right, super short, super sweet. We shot that in a half a day, and that was with a crew with lights and everything. So students should be able to shoot a PSA in a day. You know, it shouldn't be that hard. But we kind of walk you through exactly how to do it, step by step, and you'll notice that we've also included those interview questions right into the curriculum. So where they pertain, we just dive right in and you can watch, you know, so here's Rockne O'Bannon, who created Alien Nation and Sequest and Farscape. He's kind of a sci-fi guy. And he talks about where do you find your inspiration for writing stuff?
I get inspiration really from everywhere. I mean, anywhere. I mean, if this is being watched right now in classroom. There's a great thing I do just when I'm bored. You never have to be bored again because you can play what if. You know, you're sitting in the classroom and you just think, okay, what if, you know, aliens landed outside and suddenly they got off with, you know, big alien guns and attacked them. It's pretty corny, but it's still a what if.
That's like Red Dawn, right? That's the premise for Red Dawn. We also have like these little professionals. So this is our producer professional. It's just kind of an amalgamation of different older you know, golden age of Hollywood producers, but they give you advice every so often. So anytime you see one of these characters and one of these sort of quotes, they're giving you advice on how to do stuff. And so we offer you, here's a bunch of topics that you can write a PSA on. You don't have to write any on that particular, but here's some ideas. There's rubrics where the teacher can sort of the student wouldn't see this. This would be the teacher's view. They can set up rubrics where they can quickly grade, pop, pop, pop. They did this, they did this, they did this, and it's super fast, which is really nice.
Can I ask you something real quick?
Yes, please.
You know, it seems like you go over really well, like script writing and the idea process and everything. Do you cover any editing whatsoever? Like we use Premiere Pro. Is that included in
So
this?
we don't, one of the things that, because there's so many different
Yeah.
packages, we don't go too far into like how to make a cut in Premiere Pro, for instance.
Okay. So we
Most
would.
of us, there's a lot of really good YouTube links that
Yeah.
teach how to do that. So what we do, I'll show you. What we try and do is we try and get into not how to make the cut, but why to make the cut. Why do you cut here and not there? Why do you cut on this frame and not that frame? What's an L cut? What's a J cut? All that kind of stuff. So here's pre-production. This is our big course, by the way. This is the biggest one. Mixing.
Okay.
So we go through mixing, sound and that sort of stuff, scoring and mixing music, and then cutting. So here's editorial, the editing process for the editor, editing styles, essentially, you know. And again, you have these. Here's Danny Ramirez, who's an editor on the new Stranger Things. So
Okay.
he's talking about this is
Please ask the host to give you permission to record.
Oh,
Right.
so this is a Zoom call we did with Danny. Who
Okay.
cuts our stuff. Here's his dad, editor. He's also an editor. His dad is an editor and cut like Conan the Barbarian and Driving Miss Daisy and stuff like that. So very, very experienced. And so there's a ton of different stuff in editorial about how you cut for certain things, basic cuts, um, that's like L cuts, J cuts, all that kind of stuff. Here's another piece of advice for teachers. So yeah, we go through all the editorial stuff, but it's not like how to make a cut in DaVinci, for instance.
Right. And I'm assuming that you also don't go through like camera specifics, like, what is a lens, iris, aperture, that type of thing.
We do actually.
Okay.
Yeah, we do that. So if I go back to that, we'll go back to our big course. So you'll see that the modules for the cinematographer are actually pretty extensive. So
Okay.
here we go down to DP. So here's the syllabus for DP, and then the introduction and overview of what a director of photography is. Portraying the look in different times, changing the mood, collaboration with the director. What is a director? Oh, so these are director assignments. You'll notice that they're all tagged. So each one's tagged DP, director. Here's the DP. So you can see these are all DP assignments. Scheduling, dolly track, booming, tripod heads, level shots, high angle shots, low angle shots. It's pretty extensive.
Yeah.
Catalogs. Yeah, we cover all of that.
So it sounds like, as far as like things that I need to go over before or like in addition to doing this would be just like editing and stuff like that. But as far as like learning the ins and outs of what you need to make that documentary, you're covering that pretty well there.
Yeah. When it comes to actual production, it's handled pretty tightly. I mostly because I mean there's so many different editorial packages that if I sat down and tried to do tutorials on even how to make a cut, I'd have to make 10 tutorials because the teachers are all using different tools, It just
Yeah, even
make
within like
sense.
Premiere Pro, there's 10 different ways to
Right,
make.
exactly. Exactly. So I have my favorites. I mean, I tend to like DaVinci. It's a free piece of software that's just super powerful,
Yeah.
very easy to use. And so we cut professionally on DaVinci, and we love it. It's in my opinion, it's the best one out there. But I don't want to tell that to teachers because they've got their own thing. I don't want to tell you have to cut with DaVinci now and then they have to change their whole, No. We're here to provide the tools and you adapt and use them however you want in your classroom. We've designed the system to run, as I said, like through these courses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But if you don't want to teach green screen, fine. If you don't want to teach, copyright, that's fine. You don't have to do any of that. But they're just here as ancillary sort of supplemental materials. Especially these last courses, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 are all really, they're just there as supplemental courses to whatever you're teaching. So if you're going to teach lighting, this is a great little lighting course. And they're all video, all 4 of those courses are just video courses. So you'll go through the modules. The modules are very short, but they teach you about here's 3-point lighting. And these are videos, you just watch them. So they're all video courses, those last, what is it, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These are all video courses, but it teaches you about all the terms and all that kind of stuff. So that's
just for
what's that?
Just for planning purposes, like how long do you think it takes to go through, all of your courses if you had, 45 minutes a day to work on that?
Geez, it's tough to say because it depends on what the students decide to make. So in that course, the 4th course, the beginning guide to filmmaking, they may decide to make a 5-minute movie rather than a 60-second PSA or a 30 PSA, and then your course gets longer, right?
Yeah.
But if you were to just sit down and kind of go through it the way we guide you to go through it, it could take half the year.
Okay.
Yeah, it could. I mean, it just depends on what you decide to make. It could take 6 weeks.
Yeah.
You really kind of dove in and like you had students that just devoured the whole thing and then you just rinse and repeat, right? Oh, okay. we're done with that. Let's make another film. This time we're going to add a little bit more of this. You're going to take more time to do that. The same kind of stuff. We do the same exact things every single time we sit down to make a movie. We go through the same exact steps that we show you how to do here. And it doesn't matter if I've done this 1,000 times, you still go through all the steps.
Right. Yeah. And it it's just like if you're learning to weld or something like that, you aren't a master welder after
Right.
you learn the simple basics. No, you got to practice.
Exactly. And so the next thing that I'm literally working on, probably starting next week, is brackets. This is kind of a fun concept. I'm going to get your temperature on this. So we're the hosts of the National Skills USA Digital Cinema Competition. So in Georgia, do you use Skills at your school?
Do we? Yes, we actually I had 2 students that went to nationals last year or
Oh,
over the summer. Yeah.
for cinema?
Yes.
Oh, what'd they make?
I don't know. I'll be honest with you. They were my seniors, so I didn't. And I'm not the skills teacher, so
Okay.
and I literally just started teaching in January, so I'm
Oh.
new to this whole thing, kind of getting settled in.
Okay, fantastic. So, but what we're going to start doing this year is similar to like sports teams, like college basketball brackets. We're going to
Okay.
have films competing against each other down to the wire, and to see who's the best film on the platform.
Yeah, I think that would be a great idea.
Yeah, and you're going to be able to join that competition whether you're in Sneak on the Lot or not. So it's
Okay.
a free thing that anybody can join. Anybody can throw their film down, compete. There will be categories, obviously, for you are in skills, or you are in just the Sneak on the Lot program, or you're outside the Sneak on the Lot program. So there'd be different brackets, but yeah. So we're trying to figure out exactly how it's going to work, but we're pretty
Mhm.
excited about this concept that anybody anywhere can start their own bracket and just have films competing on it.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, but also a good way for you to grow your business and get people,
Right.
introduce them to what Sneak on the Lot is. It seems really great so far. Like I still got to get in there and get
Yep.
my kids using it, but they're using the music library right now, and that alone is helpful to get them those types of tools.
Right. Right. All right. So did I cover everything? Oh, there's a couple of other things. So you can go to an inbox. You can send all your students messages through this inbox, which is really handy. There is a caveat, though, if your school won't allow for your students to receive outside emails, this probably isn't the greatest tool.
Yeah, so the state of Kentucky just did a thing where students or teachers cannot talk to students via social media or anything that's not like can't text them, can't do anything that is not approved by like your school district. So
Sure. There you
I
go.
don't think that's approved. So I can't.
So maybe message boards is a good way for you, right? I mean, I would imagine that because message boards aren't private. It's not a private discussion. It's out there.
Yeah, I would assume that would work for us. But like I can use email. I can just email them, in my
That's what this is.
school
This is
email.
just an email. It emails them. So
Okay.
that's
So
why I say it's probably not a great if they don't receive if your district won't allow outside emails to be received by students, then that's what this is. This is you quickly just
Okay.
say, I want to email everybody in this course, right? In this such and such course, click, bam, and everybody gets an email from that course. It's just really
Okay.
it's pretty nice. Anyway, play around with it. See if that works for you. Other
Yeah,
than
I will
that,
I
think
will
it's-
say I think the teaching tool will be a little more helpful. I was going into Canvas and adding people in there, then they would get an email and then they would click the link to like sign up through that.
Yeah, so the problem with that is you have to add, because there's 10 courses, you have to add each student to all the courses that you want them to have access to,
Okay.
which is a nightmare. That's why we built the teacher tools. So when you add a student in the teacher tools, it adds them to all 10.
So how do I remedy that?
So if you go to, let's see, if you can share your screen, maybe that might help. Let me see if I can allow you to do that. Hang on. There we
I want
go.
to say good afternoon real quick. I apologize for coming in a little late,
That's all right.
but Zach, I don't think you didn't go to summer conference, did you? Or were you doing NTI there?
I did. I was doing NTI.
Okay, which means they don't let you go out and check anything, check out the exhibits or anything,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I briefly was able to. I didn't really get to spend a whole lot of time there.
Okay. All right. Well, I just wanted to introduce myself and was Kevin on for any period of time?
What's that?
Kevin Brown from Ballard. Did Kevin hop on?
No, he did not.
Okay.
Wait, I'm not sharing the correct screen, am I?
Yeah, we see Zoom right
I
now.
think it's the whole
All right.
screen.
Let me try this again.
So if you've added them already, it'll be interesting to see if this works.
All right, can you see?
Okay, so you're in Canvas, right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, if you go to your dashboard. It's that top. Yep, go to that. So this is yours, but your student will only see whatever course you've added them to.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying? So if you go to, let's say, Introduction to Film History.
And then hit people.
Now go to people. Did you add them all there? Or you must have added them in Teacher Tools.
I did not.
You did?
I don't think so.
But you didn't add them to all 10 courses, right?
No, I didn't go through and do anything.
You must
Extra.
have added them through our tools then, because you'd have to add them individually to each course if you didn't.
I mean, after you sent me the teacher tools, I poked around in there. I may have.
Yeah, see, there they all are.
I did create a classroom, I believe.
If you go if you go to the select classroom view, click that. There's your classes. Go to the other one. Ooh. Refresh this. When was the last time you refreshed this page?
Sorry about that.
They're not here. 1754.
Still loading. There you go.
1836, 1949, 2049, and 2079 are not here. Those 5 buses are not here. 1754, 1836, 1949, 2049, and 20.
Are you guys playing the lottery over there? Is that what that is?
Oh, it's the buses that aren't here.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, so there you go. You got 2 courses named the same thing.
Yeah, that was me messing around trying to create it,
Okay.
but it's not.
Let's just make sure we can.
Just remember to have a good time, be polite to each other, make sure you're not pushing stuff so nobody gets pushed.
Okay, so that's the one that doesn't have anybody in it. There you go. The first one's the one you want.
In the main office, you can sign in.
But that gives me a note that I want to.
Those people will be there shortly. Just a reminder, as
Be
we
able to
go throughout the
remove.
day, kiddos,
See, it went to view all
2079.
there, but it says class of 27 there.
Just a reminder,
I think that's just the default setting. It's going to the right one.
coming in at the,
Okay.
So if you go to view all,
we're gonna make sure that we get
Go
those
to- go to unassigned.
teachers, check
Okay.
your email, we'll start talking about.
If you go to the classroom view, go to unassigned. Scroll all the way to the bottom.
Okay.
Try that one.
We'll go from there. Once again, kiddos,
Curious.
kiddos have a great afternoon, 2049 just arrived. So the only buses that are not here, the only bus out here.
So these would be students that
36.
are not in any section.
You guys have a great afternoon, remember, we love you.
So you've got one student that isn't in that class.
Okay, that makes sense. This is the one that I've been having issues with. Like she went to log in um to Canvas and someone like the Google Chrome's profile brought up someone else who had already logged in a different
Hmm.
class. And
Right.
so then she doesn't speak any English, so it was difficult. And she clicked on something too quickly before I could read it. And I think that it said, like, do you want to associate this email with someone that was already signed in?
Gotcha.
So I tried logging out and logging her in, but like that whole create a canvas thing never came back up
Mm.
for her. So I haven't tried putting in her email and using the change me password
Yeah.
to see if that works. If that didn't work, I was gonna just delete her and try it again.
It should work. I mean, that's not, of course, that's a Chromebook thing.
Yeah.
But if you can add her, click the add to classroom, and then let's add her to, yeah, that first one. Click. So adding students to period. Takes a while because it's got to add it to all 10 courses.
Okay.
There we go. Okay, now if you go view all, go to class 27. Let's just make sure that she's in there.
Yeah, she's there.
All right. So and so you can remove them from classes. You can do that in bulk. You can change their passwords, delete the students, all that kind of stuff from this screen. But that's why we built this so that you can add new classrooms, organize your students, put all your students in all 10 courses quickly.
Yeah, will this classroom, where it says section name and status unknown, will that ever change?
Yeah. So the status in the classroom will indicate which classroom they're in. And then status is like whether they're enrolled or not, like they're active or inactive.
So, I mean, some of these, like this guy already has a picture there.
Yep.
So he's in a class, but it still says unknown over here.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. Yep. They should all, and then anybody can go in and change their image inside of Canvas. These are pulling those images right off of Canvas.
Okay.
This is something that I just built last week, and I was like, man, I got to have something for teachers to start getting students.
Okay. So it's still being developed.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So if I wanted to check, the progress of my students, I would do that through Canvas, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
And I'll be looking at possibly making some tools here where you can kind of see some really quick like progress bars or something that you can just look at, because I don't know, I go through the analytics on pages like Canvas, and it's like, man, there's a ton of data, but nothing that just says, hey, this student's fallen behind, or everybody's up to the task, everybody's where they're supposed to be. So I think like a progress bar for every student would be really cool, indicating like where they're at in the process.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. I'm gonna write that down. Okay. Does that answer all your questions? Anything else?
I think that answers everything I've got for now. I'm sure as I get more into this, I'll have questions here and there, but I mean, I don't think I'll have to have another Zoom session.
Okay.
But I really appreciate you walking me through this. I think what you've got is a great thing, and I'm looking forward to getting my students into it.
Awesome. Perfect. All right. Well, good luck. I hope to see you at Skills again then.
Yes, looking forward to that. And hopefully, this helps get some more students involved in skills too, because, that's I don't have a high interest in that right now, but I think, that this could help bridge that gap.
Cool.
Well, and I know last year, unfortunately, I didn't know it until after the fact, but Kim Woodall, the state skills person, they ran the event there in Louisville at Skills. And Danielle Bennett, who's down in Adair County, she was a big part of it. She's gone to the workshop a couple of
Yeah,
years ago.
she's awesome.
And so Kim is trying to replicate what Fletch and Chet have done in Atlanta. So all the kids go, and I don't know about the dress up part, but they watch everybody's films and so forth. So that'd be a fantastic kind of jumping point for if they make it to
Don't skip
Atlanta.
the red carpet, man. Don't skip the red carpet stuff.
Hmm.
Dressing up to watch the last movie.
They may have. I honestly don't know. I wish I had known when I was there. I'd have gone and checked it out.
So we're going to be building a whole bracket system. Hopefully, that's customizable enough that Skills can use it. Everybody in the different states running their own individual Skills USA regional competitions can use it to generate the same sort of outcome. That's kind of the idea.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
That's good. All right. Thank you, sirs.
All right. Thank you
Appreciate
very
it.
much.
Take
Have a
care.
blessed day. Ciao.
Same
You
to you.
too. Bye.